everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dance. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Greetings, teammates. I pray you are well. This is Tim Morton with Southeast Michigan FCA, and welcome to another Testimony Tuesday, where we like to provide a platform for others to share their powerful stories of transformation. And, every story has a hero, a villain, a victim, and a guide. And Jesus Christ was and still is the greatest hero maker of all time. And I'm sure you would agree with me that there's enough villains and victims. And boy, we got an incredible testimony for you today through the example of Heide. And Luke's going to come on and share a little bit about his story. First, I want to give you a little background on how we got together. I met Luke about a year ago, just after he was saved. And he's currently a substitute teacher at Utica Ford High School. Also strength and conditioning coach there. I believe he's assistant football coach as well. Was at Adrian High School, Adrian College, coming from there back to his home, Utica Ford, and coming and wanting to make a difference. He's going to share a little bit about how he came to faith, but currently he's also the huddle coach at Ford. And so this puts him in an incredible position to make heroes. And he's now leading that along with another young lady that I'm sure he's going to mention. And they are building out this huddle at Utica Ford. 3 weeks ago, I got the amazing opportunity to see his public declaration of faith through water baptism amongst his family and friends, and of course his mentor that he's going to mention. It was incredible to see this. His passion for the Lord at such a young age is truly inspiring. This year, just to give you a little example of that, I witnessed him driving two young men, two high school students, athletes, from Sterling Heights, Michigan, all the way up to Lake Ann Camp near Traverse City, so that they could experience our first ever leadership camp for student athletes and be there and be that example and get him there safely. Just an incredible testament to his motivation to really want to live this out through Christ's power and strength. So what I want to do is I want to bring him in. And Luke, it's amazing to have you here. I want to thank you for coming on with us. We're excited to hear, your version of how this all happened. And so I want to turn it over to you and give you this opportunity. So can you share your testimony?
Yes, sir. I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of FCA and taking me in. So starting out with how I got introduced to Christ. Growing up, I was always a Catholic, went through catechism and all that. I was kind of a soft Catholic, didn't really take it seriously or anything, but got that all done. Going through high school, same thing. Knew there was something out there, just didn't know what it was. Same thing through college. About in January of last year, I went through a breakup. Didn't know, a 4-year relationship. Didn't know what to do, how to get through things. Graduated from Adrian College in April, and then hooked back up with my head strength coach, Coach T, who just introduced me to Christ at the fullest, man. Like, you say you want to meet someone who identifies as a Christian and lives through everything that you're supposed to live through, man, that's Coach T. Coach T is the definition of a Christian. Just positive all the time, always influencing people in the right direction. I always knew there was something different about him, and he had a conversation with me probably my junior year of high school, and it kind of stuck with me a little bit. And he introduced me a little bit in about March, but I just didn't have that guidance and that push constantly to stay with it. So once I graduated, I hooked back up with him, started coaching at Ford, assistant strength and conditioning coach. And then he just was consistent and intentional about pushing Christ in my life. And he knew that I wanted it, and he knew that it could only happen with his guidance. And since probably last May, so it's coming up on a year, it's been a total different Luke Heide. I mean, all throughout college, I was just so negative and such a Debbie Downer. And every time I would see someone, I wouldn't want to talk to them. I would always have this anger and hatred built up inside of me. And going from that to where I am now, I feel like there's just something inside of me that's getting fulfilled. And that's through Christ. Just trying to live out his will and show his words through me. It's just something that is different about it. And it's just so fulfilling to live through him. So Coach T he's been a major influence in my life. Going through the summer and then the fall, I coached football in the fall. He resigned as head powerlifting coach, so I took that over in a split second, probably 2 or 3 weeks before the powerlifting season got done with that position. And he had my back through that. And Coach T's unfortunately leaving Ford at the end of the summer. But he's found his new home at Royal Oak Shrine Catholic High School, where he's trying to make a difference over there too. So I got thrown in the head strength conditioning coach position now after August. But he started FCA, a huddle at FCA last year, I believe, and it was a couple of people here and there. And Tim mentioned that I'm a substitute teacher at Ford, trying to get a full-time position there next year. I'm the huddle leader there with tremendous students and tremendous student athletes. I mean, we have morning meetings and there's 10 kids every single meeting just hungry to hear his word. We have 5 huddle leaders, and all 5 of them went to the Lake Ann camp with me back in December. And I think that changed a lot of their perspective on things. And taking that back to our huddle alone was a huge difference maker. And speaking of them, they're having a tremendous influence on the school culture, I feel like. Coming in and subbing last year in May and April till now, it's like I feel it's so much more positive at Ford than what it was last year. I mean, they're making a tremendous difference in the students' lives and in the teachers' lives. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make disciples of Christ through ourselves, and then so they can make more disciples through themselves. So right now, I'm leading the huddle with, it's actually funny, Coach T brought in an intern for our summer camp last year, and we found each other through Christ. She's now my girlfriend. Her name's Jenna. She's helping me run the huddle now, and it's just so special and so awesome how 2 people who didn't know each other just find each other through Christ. And it's not even about the relationships. It's about having the common love and common drive to know Christ Jesus, our Savior. And I don't know how I'd be or where I'd be without him right now, coming from what I was in the past to where I am now. And I just give all the thanks to Christ and to Coach T. I mean, without him, I'd probably still be an angry, hatred-filled person. And I can live to that till the day I die, I think. And my parents and my siblings can attest to that too. I mean, I was just so negative, and nobody would want to be around me just because I was so negative in every single way possible. And I'm just so thankful for Tim taking me into FCA and trying to guide me into the right direction to lead our huddle, so I can influence our huddle leaders and they can go out into the school, into their individual sports, and do the same thing that we're trying to do. And that's spread his kingdom to everybody on the earth. So I think that's all that I got for my testimony. I know that's kind of long-winded, Tim, but
No. It was outstanding, bro. Love it. You know, and it's your story, it's your truth, and it's so good. And just as you were speaking through that, you know, I was just so grateful to be a witness to all this, you know, because I got to know Coach T a couple years ago, and then just how on fire he was and how we just built this relationship during COVID. And then his intentionality, his passion for being spirit-led is outstanding. And so what's been really cool, and for our listeners that are listening on this, just understand and know that Coach T has been obedient to the call his whole life. And when he saw you coming in, being hungry, he saw something in you, right? And this is what our hero makers do, right? Disciple makers do. They see something in that other person, and they draw that out of them, right? and then they remove, they help to remove, and it's an ongoing process, right? Everybody's a process, but you were able to replace that anger and that pain and that frustration with something that was fulfilling. And that's really what Christ does when we surrender and give it up to him. So I don't think you would have done that without seeing it in Coach T and desiring it, but you were in a place that you were seeking, and he came in and created this amazing opportunity for you. And what I love about where you're at right now, Luke, is you have this incredible opportunity to pass that on and to carry that torch and to pass the baton on to these student athletes. And they're hungry and they're ready and they're receptive to it. Just over there this past week, and I could see it in their eyes. And it is so cool to see that amongst a young leader like you and young athletes like that. And then having, your girlfriend there, you guys, valuing the vertical relationship first before you're valuing the horizontal. That's going to help you guys in how you continue to grow and build out your relationship as well. So I'm super proud of you. Can't tell you how much I'm grateful for you. I'm excited to see what the Lord's going to continue to do in you and through you as you continue to go on this journey. So thank you again for joining us.
No, thank you, Tim.
You got it. Boy, this was outstanding. If you are a man or a woman that would love to be a part of our ministry and be this amazing, empowered leader like Luke is, and just reach out to us. We'd love to have that conversation with you. But until we meet again, this is Tim Morton with Southeast Michigan FCA, where our mission is to lead every coach and athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and his church. God bless.